Welcome to another edition of Zach's Rank by. I am Brian Bolin, and I am the aggressive growth stock strategist here at Zach's, and I've got two more stocks for your aggressive growth right on our screen. And this is a very special edition of Zach's Rank by. This is the National Championship edition. And most of you know that I am a big Ohio State Buckeye fan. I came from the state of Ohio, blessed to be from the greatest state in the Union, possibly the greatest place on earth as we know it. I'm wearing my great red jacket that I know many of you love. My hair is gray, so I got the scarlet and gray. Now, some of you would say, Brian, you've got Irish heritage. Are you a little torn by this game against Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish? And I would tell you, no, I'm not torn whatsoever. I am all for my Buckeyes. So let's get into today's picks here. Okay, first we're going to start off with Cummins. Cummins at CMI is the ticker. It's a Zach's Rank at number 2, and we're going a little outside of our normal idea here. I had to select special companies. So a C for growth and a B for value, but a rank 2 buy. And we're looking at a $50 billion market cap that also pays a gigantic 2% yield, $7.28 on the annual basis. That's because that stock is $365 a share, which is a lot. Now, why, Brian, would you select Cummins as your pick here? Because this stock is headquartered in Columbus, Indiana. Columbus, Indiana. Who knew there even was a Columbus, Indiana? But there is a Columbus, Indiana. Obviously, Notre Dame is in South Bend, Indiana. I couldn't tell you where Columbus, Indiana is, but that doesn't really matter. It's all about Columbus today. Have they been beating the number? Well, we've got 2 misses and 2 beats. The beats are bigger than the misses, so we get a positive annual surprise. And it looks like these numbers are growing in on a sequential basis. That's good to see. Let's go ahead and look at the estimates. What are they doing? It's a 2. 468 to 471. That's an up. 528 to 531. That's good. $20.68 is flat. So I'm going to call that flat. And then 2210 to 2223. So up on the estimates on an overall basis. Not so much on this year, but this year's over. We're focusing on next year. How's the growth? You know, you would think an aggressive growth stock would have some aggressive growth. It didn't have any growth this year, contraction. It's going to get back to growth next year. We are on a big base. This company makes engines and that sort of thing. So it doesn't really fit into what we're looking for, but it is from Columbus. All right, it has a 16 times forward earnings multiple, a 4.37 times book, 1.45 times sales. Those are all decent numbers that right around the average. Margins are somewhat tight here, a small bit of margin growth. I think we're going to get most of the story here when we look at the chart. And here we see a big move in the earnings estimates lines here. And that's after these two beats, the 2 most recent beats. Even after these 2 misses here, we see stock moving up higher. But for the most part, we're seeing good movement in earnings estimates out of Cummins. So that's CMI, Cummins, CMI. That's my representative from the state of Indiana, the Columbus, Indiana company. Now let's go ahead to another company, and it's Abercrombie and Fitch. Maybe you dress in Abercrombie and Fitch, maybe you don't. ANF is the ticker. It's a Zach's Rank. Number 1, it's a strong buy. B for value, C for growth. A $6 billion market cap, which isn't so gigantically big, but still kind of up there for the retail space. Is pretty nice to see. Now, Brian, why are you choosing Abercrombie and Fitch? Well, it doesn't say here, does it? I don't see it. Okay, but I'm going to tell you right now that this company is based in the great state of Ohio, the home of the Buckeyes. Therefore, it was the aggressive growth buy for this week. So they are from the state of Ohio. All right, so are they beating the number? As most Buckeyes do, they beat the number. Cheer for my team right here. They're beating it well, too. I like it. You can see how important that fourth quarter is. It's a much bigger number than the rest of the year. As we know, that retail sales all depend on that year-end number. So what are the estimates doing for That's the quarter that's coming up. Well, they've been moving up 335 to 350. Like it. Next quarter, you're going to see it slow down because, retail sales slow down in that first quarter, 189 to 195. Next year, for the full year, the fiscal full year of 2025, 1031 to 1063. Next year, 1057 to 1122. Looks like this company would win the national championship of retailers, so to speak. Not really. All right, 15% top line growth this year, slowing down to only 5.8% next year. But we're not so concerned about that because this company is based in Columbus, Ohio, home of the Buckeyes of the Ohio State University. All right, 12.7 as your forward earnings multiple. That is pretty low. 5.5 times book, a little bit high. 1.4 times sales. Not so much of a concern there. A good 14% top line growth here. And we can see, importantly, margins moving higher each quarter. You get sales growth, margin improvement that's going to lead to higher earnings. Let's take a look at this chart. Everyone knows and loves Abercrombie and Fitch, so to speak. Look at that nice base of support there. That stock just keeps on moving higher. It moves right along with the estimate trend line. And there isn't big gaps here. So watch these estimates. As these estimates move, this stock will move. All right, next week is going to be the big game Monday night. My Ohio State Buckeyes, 9.5-point favorites over the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. What do you say we go Buckeyes and bring home another national championship? All right, that's it for me this week. Why don't you make sure to join us next week? We're going to look at 2 more stocks for your aggressive growth radar screen. We'll be back to normal. No more special stuff. But until then, why don't you go to Zacks.com/promo to check out all of our latest promotions. And go Buckeyes!